Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle videos, motherhood vlogs, but I also like to share some of our personal finance journey as well. A little quick story. My husband and I have some debt. We currently have about $70,000 worth of debt, and that is our student loan debt and then a car loan. That is something that we currently have and are currently not paying off because, well, we're paying it off. We're doing like the minimums and stuff, but we are a little bit more focused on savings. Between, if you haven't been watching my channel, we had to move out of a moldy apartment and that ended up taking a ton of savings from our savings account. And then we're just trying to beef our savings up in general, just because we've never had a good savings account, and we would like to possibly purchase a house at some point. If we move back to North Carolina, I think we would prefer to purchase a home versus renting again, but that's a whole other conversation. And that's not what this video is about. Today I'm going to take you through our October budget and talk about how things went, where things went wrong, where they went well. I will say this is a better month than we've had. It wasn't like perfect. My budgets are never going to be perfect. I do think for November we're going to be a little bit, we're just like trying to be a little bit more strict in general based on like some stuff happening next month that I kind of talked about in our November reset, I think. But, or not next month, next year. We want to be a little bit more strict with certain categories, things like that, a little bit more than we have been. I'm going to take you through this. I hope that Ivy eventually falls asleep. She's just fighting her nap today, and today is not the day for her to fight her nap, okay? I really need her to take a nap. I'm going to go through this. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my computer right here because my room is right next to her room. I'm not gonna sit up there and possibly wake her up. Let's take a look at our budget and we'll see how the month of October went. Okay, so if you watched my October budget with me, which was a part of my October reset video, it looked like we were going to have more income because I ended up not being able to work for a certain amount of time, and then my client cut back the amount of blogs that they give me, so my income was like almost $1,000 less than I was anticipating. So I did end up changing my budget so that I could figure out like where I needed to be cut, like different categories, but I did that after that video. So my income was much lower than I was anticipating. I did get a YouTube payment last month that was a little bit not unexpected. I just don't budget for it because I get one every like 2 to 3 months. Ben's income was right on par. Our Beacon payment was right on par. And then I did push rollover from September because I knew we were gonna need it for October because my income was so low. So I pushed about $372 over, $450. That is basically all that our landlord gave us back from our security deposit, was $450. From $2,500. So good guy, good guy, good guy. Anyways, so our income in total was about $96.56 last month, but again, you know, 372 of that being rollover and 450, you'll see in a minute, I just put directly into savings since we pulled so much money from savings out for the move. All of these are pretty much normal. They might be like a few dollars off here and there. I need to like figure this one out because his apps aren't $45 a month, but I swear as soon as I lower that amount, some like big app comes out that I wasn't anticipating. So that's the reason that it's like that. Ben didn't take $100 out, but he has been paying for NFL Network, so I just put that in there. This was my last month paying for Pilates, and then our internet was a little bit more than than Ben thought it was going to be, but we did get it down a little bit. This section is fairly normal except for miscellaneous. I ended up purchasing, so I got into TikTok Shop, which if you know nothing about TikTok, I'm not going to explain TikTok Shop right now because you don't care anyway, but basically it's an opportunity to be able to like sell products. I have no interest in that being like my whole platform, but I do think there's like a few things that I might sell from here, like here and there, that I enjoy. So I did purchase a few things specifically to share from TikTok Shop, which means I'm able to write that off as a business expense because I am using those things specifically for multiple videos for TikTok Shop. So That was a little bit of that money. And then I also had an app come out that I wasn't anticipating, and I had 2 work lunches and like a couple of coffee shop days. And then I actually did pull over money from my work savings account to pay for some of the TikTok shop stuff, just so it didn't, because technically I have my business expenses in our budget, but really, like, if I start making more money again, I need to like have my own account for the business. But I ended up combining them like a year or 2 ago because I basically like cut down on the amount of clients that I was having, so there was no reason to have a separate bank account when I was pulling all of the money over anyway, if that makes sense. But eventually, when and if I start making a little bit more money online, I might have to like make another account, but for now, that's what happened there. Loans, I paid the minimum on everything. Moving on to this section, our grocery section was like just under budget, which is great because we've been very over budget in this section for a long time. Costco was a little bit over budget. I didn't put it in red though because I just bumped it down from $300. So while it's over budget, it's really not. It's better than it has been the last few months. And also, a couple of the things that I bought there weren't like food type stuff. And a lot of times I think of these 3 as like food categories. I had to buy like Ben a couple of things for like he needed slippers, and there was like a couple other random things. So I'm just not putting it in red because I don't feel like the $19 that was over budget actually means anything. It's just could have been in a different category. Restaurants and takeout, we were a little bit over budget. I was hoping that we'd be much closer to 200. One of the reasons is because we went on a really nice date night, which ended up being like over $100, which is not something we normally do. I think the last time we went on a date night where we spent more than like $30 or $40, because food's expensive, was our anniversary, and before that was before Ivy was born probably. So I wasn't anticipating to spend that much money. I will say I still think that I did better on getting food out this month. So even though we were technically over budget, I'm happy with this number. This is something that we are going to be careful. I am going to be careful with this month. I am like November, I am planning to pretty much try not to eat out at all, except for if we go on a date night. Now, there might be things that come up or whatever, and that just like is what it is. But I'm kind of in this stage with pregnancy right now where like all food is just like meh to me anyway. For a while, I was like having a few cravings, or I was like really hungry, whereas now I'm just like, all food is kind of boring and lame to me. So like, why spend a bunch of money on food when I can just eat lame food here? If it's gonna taste gross, not gross, if it's gonna taste like boring somewhere else, why am I paying, you know, for it? Sorry, I keep looking at Ivy's monitor. She's still not asleep, which is not great for me. Medications and supplements, we were very over budget. This is pretty much mostly Ben. However, we also got fairly sick, all 3 of us, a couple weeks ago, and then like a couple or weeks before that, Ben's mom and sister got sick, if you've watched any of my vlogs. So we had like a couple of random vitamin things. Sorry. I'm tired, which is why I need her to take a nap. And then Ben is starting some supplement protocols for the stuff that he found out from his doctor. So yeah, we went well over budget on that, which I'm not surprised by, but unfortunately that is what happened. We were a little bit under budget on household, which is good. A little bit under budget on beauty. I did get a pedicure and manicure this month, which is not something I normally do. Manicures and pedicures will probably be something that I cut out of our budget next year, but until the baby is born, I intend on getting my nails done a few more times, and I'm not gonna feel bad about that because it's something that I care about. Personal spending was over budget. This is mostly me. One of the reasons is because I had a prenatal massage, which I just totally forgot about that I was going to schedule for myself. Ben and I had talked about it, so I didn't budget it, even though it was something that we had talked about. So I forgot to budget for it, and that was in and of itself $120, I think, $110, something like that. Much needed. So it was already over what our budgeted amount was. And then I got a couple of more just like clothing items for pregnancy, because my stuff just like isn't fitting me very well. And yeah, I just needed a couple more things. Probably didn't need them. No, I think I did. I think the things that I bought, I didn't really buy anything outrageous. I bought like 1 or 2 more pairs of maternity leggings, so now I have 3. I think I bought 1 more shirt like this, and then I got like a long sleeve maternity shirt as well to wear with my overalls. So it wasn't anything crazy, I just needed a couple more things. Doctors, we were under budget a little bit for that. I still haven't gotten my hospital bill, which I'm very confused about, but I don't know what to do about it. And that's from like literally April. So I'm just like tired of their crap, to be honest. Utilities was $251, so this was a little bit under budget. I had budgeted high because I knew that we were gonna get possibly a couple of little things come in from our previous house, because we were technically on the lease through like the 20th of last month. So I knew that some things would trickle over, and they did. $37.37 on gas. Actually, I know that I spent $40 on gas yesterday, but I put it on my credit card, I believe. So that'll technically come out in next month's budget, because I paid off the credit card before yesterday. We did spend more like $80 on gas last month, but that's about it. We were under budget on Cora and Finn, which is good. I also lowered this budget just a little bit because we haven't been, or no, I didn't. I'm going to lower it though, come like December, January. I didn't lower it for next month because Cora needs to go to the vet for another ear infection. And then miscellaneous, we were a little bit over budget. I donated like 50 bucks to the North Carolina mountain flooding from one of the hurricanes, because it was just like devastating and I wanted to be able to like do something. So I donated a little bit of money to that. USPS for something we had to send in that I wasn't like budgeted for. We spent about $57 at Govert's farm that we went to on this past Monday, which I will have a vlog out for tomorrow. So you guys will see that before this. I can link it up above. I paid for Ben, myself, and Elizabeth came with us, and then I also got a hot chocolate. So I would normally put that in like this area, but I hadn't budgeted for that, which is why I put it in miscellaneous. So we spent about, it all equaled out to about $27 under budget in our variable expenses. And I'm telling you, compared to previous month, that's pretty good. We were over budget by $1,000 in September, over budget by $1,000 in August. So I feel like that's pretty good to be technically under budget in that area. And then this area, we didn't spend any money outside of those areas, which is good, like outside of budgeted areas. I did put that $450 into savings that I mentioned up here from our landlord being a, I mean, at least he gave us that and didn't charge us, even though he did charge us for stuff for a house that was molding. We spent almost 10 grand moving out of and having to pay for like a bunch of stuff that we had to update. Yet he wouldn't give us our security deposit back because he didn't believe that it was worth fixing. So whoever moved in afterwards, I hope you don't have sensitivity to mold because he didn't do anything about it. Anyways, and then I had about $678 of extra money that was in this account that I moved over to our savings so that we can continue to build that up. So that feels really good. I basically budgeted $100 for savings this month, and I was able to put away $1,100. So that feels really good. If you look at it from up here, you know, $450 from our security deposit, and then I had about $370 from previous months rollover that would have gone into our savings, but because we needed the money, I pulled it over. So 372, you do the math. My brain's not mathing right now. This child needs to take a nap. I'm literally gonna have a panic attack. Anyways, so that I feel like is a pretty good month, especially because my income was much lower than anticipated. I didn't have help for a lot of the month. I just feel like we did so much better this month than we did the last 2 months. I need to go because I need to figure out why this child has been sitting in her room for an hour and is still not asleep. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you in the next video.